What? Thank you. What? Okay, well, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Being summer, I never know how many people will be out here, but this is our last one. July we take off, so I'm giving you a break, giving me a break here. Before we get started, and while Kathleen's busy over there trying to set up, I want to do a special recognition. Those of you who signed up probably saw the cake back there. Sergeant Garcia, this is going to be his last meeting with us. Please retire. And assuming we have an election a little later, we have two people that are going off our board. Lubin Pravat, want to stand up, Lubin? He's been with the CAC for as long as I can remember. How many years have you been involved?
I first started coming probably in the early 1990s. It got active starting in about 2005, and been getting hotter about a year.
That's great. Well, even though you're not on the board, I expect to still see you here. And then Kathleen. Kathleen, unfortunately, she's doing all the time. Stand up, Kathleen. Kathleen, even though she's leaving us, she is so busy doing other things in the community that she has set some priorities, and I guess we were at the bottom of the list. But you are certainly welcome to come back.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, and hopefully we'll have some time. We'll cut that cake back there, definitely before the sergeant leaves, and we'll get down to business. All right, well, first of all, welcome everybody. First order of business, as always, is the approval of the minutes. Hopefully everybody read the minutes, but trust me, they were pretty representative and they were worth reading. There were a lot of links in them, so if you haven't, I suggest you go back and read them. I'd like to get a motion to approve the minutes from the May meeting. Okay, any discussion, any comments? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes? Say aye. All opposed? No, unanimous, love it. Good start. All right, Sergeant Garcia, you are up.
All right, good morning. Good morning, good evening. Sorry. You can tell it's never been to retire, right? I know it. So yeah, this will be my last meeting with y'all as I am heading towards my retirement time. However, one of my officers, Officer Shay Martin, he will be taking over the meetings and just to kind of brief statistics for the month and stuff like that. So he'll be coming in August because there's not a meeting in July. So he'll be coming over here and introducing himself. I believe he came maybe once or twice in the past year with me to say hello, but he'll be at your actual CAC meeting officer representing. The chief said hello. And he said that he will make time, hopefully in August, to come by. It was too short notice, his schedule, as you can imagine. But however, he said to say hello. We did Raleigh Hoops Night on Saturday down in Southeast Raleigh at Roberts Park, and it was incredible. I don't think we've had that many people before. And these events are happening throughout all of the rec centers throughout the city. I think there's 6 or 7 more events of those every Friday night. We get to play basketball with the kids and all that. And this past Saturday was our first one. So it was right after the parade. If everybody went to the parade, yeah, incredible day. That was so much fun, right? And so we went from the parade straight to Roberts Park. It was a long, long day, hot day, but it was probably one of the best weekends that I've had as a police officer in the city in 26 years. So it was awesome to represent like that. Just real quick, some of the stats, my last and final stat brief for y'all. Once again, the highest number of reported calls for the month was traffic stops, which means officers are stopping cars. They're doing traffic enforcement.
That's me.
They're responding to all of the requests regarding speeding and all the things going on. One thing that's happening in this area, the North Hills area, are these e-moto bikes. that are just causing all kinds of chaos and stress upon the drivers in the North Hills area, all the way up to Bedford. We are specifically conducting a project to, number one, identify who these kids are, educate the parents that the e-motos, these dirt bikes that are electronic now, are illegal. You cannot ride them on the sidewalk, on the street. And what's happening, what we've seen, and now that we've talked about 7 to 8 parents, is that they have no idea what these bikes can or cannot do. They seem harmless. The kid isn't doing anything criminal-wise, but what's happened is they've gone out now into the streets and started doing all these stunts and street takeovers and kind of paralyzing traffic, and parents have no idea. And so we've taken it upon ourselves, my specific squad, to kind of identify these kids through social media, because they're only juveniles, they're 14, 15 years old, and then they don't understand everything you put on social media, everybody can see. And so imagine their face when we're knocking their door with the police car and the uniform, and they have no idea that we're going to talk about their bike and what they're doing. And the parents have no clue that they're posting all this stuff on social media until we show them, and look what your son is doing. And, you know, some of them have took a bad spill right here on Lassiter Mill. We have those, it's just bad, dangerous. So we're addressing it. We can't take juveniles to jail, so that's not gonna happen, but what we can do is take the bikes. And what we are gonna do is, first is the education phase of it, educate the parents, let them know what their kids are doing, give them that kind of warning, and then if we catch them again, then and we tell the parents this, we're gonna take their bikes as evidence of a crime, and we're gonna charge the parents. The parents are gonna be held responsible for what their kid does. So, you know, and that's a extreme point to get to, but we are first knocking on doors, letting them know they cannot ride these bikes on a street, a city street, or sidewalk. And so now that they know this, word is starting to spread, and we see a good decline. But we'll see. You know, there's a lot of them that we haven't identified yet. I mean, we have a whiteboard like that in our office, and it's like a NCAA tournament bracket. And it is incredible how the names have broken off, and groups now are breaking off, and, you know, got a little group over here in Bedford, a group over here in North Hills, a group over here in the South. It's everywhere. And they all kind of communicate, and they promote these write-outs and street takeovers and all these things. So now that we know, okay, we know who the main one is, and it just started from there. So we're working it. Feel comfortable with that, yes.
That sounds like a RICO case to me.
Oh, yeah, no, we're not to that point yet. Yes.
Are some of the bikes they're on, I assume, may be legal. How can we distinguish? Because I see these groups, and some are clearly these
Right.
things you're talking about, but some of them are look more normal, but still they're riding them properly.
Yeah,
Like I was told that if it has pedals on it,
correct.
they can.
Pedals, speed, power of their battery, not horsepower, but like just the power, the thrust power, all those things matter. So pedals is the number one indicator. If the bike looks like a dirt bike, these e-motos are dirt bikes. They're just electronic. They go 40, 50 miles an hour. So if they go, I think it's 20 miles an hour or more, they have to, it's considered now certain levels. But once they're classified e-moto, not an e-bike. E-bike's just a pedal one that you just, you know, you go and you ride it. You can ride it on a bike lane and stuff like that.
I'm saying I see people with the pedal bikes that I think are legal.
Those are good.
Doing the same, well, they're doing the same stuff. They're with.
Well, those are not, that's not good. The bike is legal, what they're doing is not. You can't do stunts, you can't do wheelies, you can't do the whole thing
I
on the
see them do
street.
wheelies through stop signs.
Oh, yeah. It's illegal.
Yeah, well, so that's what you're doing.
And that's what we're addressing.
We're all doing.
Yeah, it
Not
is
just
annoying.
illegal bikes, it's legal bikes that are used.
Is what they're doing with it, right? Yeah, it is a headache for us to be able, and mind you, then we gotta be in the presence while it's happening.
Sure.
To catch them and get, you know, it is painstaking to do. But the best thing that we have is that, again, the social media, they're posting their stunts, and we identify the street, and like, oh, that's right down the street. One kid took his bike from here, this quick story, from North Hills where he lives, rode it to our station on Six Works, parked it in front of the sign, and took a video and a picture of it. Kind of like here I am, catch me, and then left. Well, he got visited by us this morning at his house. Because he he videoed he put a video up of him cleaning the bike, but when he panned around, he panned and was like, oh, we know that house, that's right across the street on Dartmouth. So we went right over there, we found it. Mom had no idea.
I'm sad but not surprised the parents aren't.
Mom had no idea he was doing
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
that's.
So there, that's where it starts, right?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Question. Is it legal to ride an e-bike on a sidewalk like next to Six Forks Road?
So if there's not a bike lane, you're an e-bike, just a regular e-bike with pedals. If there's no bike lane, yes, you can ride on the sidewalk.
It's electric.
Yeah.
bike then.
That's no problem. If there's a bike lane, that's what the bike is for. That's what the lane is for. If there's no bike lane, the next safest spot is gonna be a sidewalk.
But is it legal to ride an e-bike on a sidewalk?
If there's no bike lane, then it's legal to ride on the sidewalk, an e-bike. Are you talking about e-moto or an e-bike?
Well, it's a battery powered bike.
Well, that's two, well, then we're talking about two different things. So the e-bike is what's just a regular bicycle with pedals, just a little thruster button. It's very simple.
But you can go 35 miles an hour.
Then that's not an e-bike, then that's an e-moto. That's in other words, an electronic motorcycle. It's abbreviated as e-moto. I know, just as you're as confused, I was the same way when we came into all this world of e-motos, e-bikes, electronic this, electronic that. It is very, very confusing. But we educate ourselves by reading, the general statutes and code and stuff like that. Yeah, e-bike, a regular bicycle with pedals. That's the number one identifier is the pedals. If there's no bike lane, the next safest thing to do is ride on the sidewalk. E-moto, you can't ride that anywhere.
So
No
what
city
makes it an
street.
E-moto?
I'm sorry?
What makes it an e-moto?
The speed, the power of the battery, but the speed is no more. You said 30 miles an hour. That's an e-moto. That's an e-motorcycle.
Where's the brake on?
I think it's 25 miles per hour.
25 miles.
Mm-hmm.
You'll know it, you say.
You'll see. And they look like dirt bikes. Anyone that's seen them, they look like dirt bikes. And they're legit. They just don't have the motor, the loud, rumbling motor, but they are fast.
Yeah.
And they've taken off from us, and they know the dirt roads and the cutoffs. I mean, in Bedford, it's like a whole gang up there. Yeah. It's an interesting culture that has developed really, really fast. And the kids are talented that are riding. I mean, there are some talented stunts that they're doing that in the right place, in a safe manner, at the right location for them. They can do it all day, but they're doing it on Six Forks. They're doing it on 440. They're doing it in, Falls of News. These major thoroughfares that all it takes is one person that's driving a car to panic or get nervous or not be paying attention, and then you're gonna have a big problem.
The e-motos require a license.
That's why they're illegal, because they require a license, they require insurance, they require a plate, registration plate, and a 14-year-old isn't old enough to get any of that.
Yeah.
And that's how it develops into being illegal. There's a lot of restrictions with the e-moto, beyond just not being able to ride it on a city street. That's just the bare minimum. And then you got all the other requirements. Great question.
Is it legal for them to ride them anywhere?
No, you can't ride an e-moto anywhere. You can ride them on a designated track. I think Roseville has a track, one of those recreation tracks.
Okay.
So the same thing with the skateboard. When skateboarding started here, it took a big popularity thing, and kids were doing it on bricks and breaking bricks downtown and stuff like that. Well, the city ended up making a nice skate park, right, as you're going down Capitol Boulevard. So it's just one of those things that has just exploded, and we're just trying to catch up at this point and kind of educate the parents, and eventually, I'm sure something will come up for them to do, or a location for them to do this stuff at. But it's happening so fast, and parents are just buying these $4,000 bikes, not even knowing that their child can't even ride it.
So the people selling them, do they know the rules?
Oh, no, they know the rules, but they don't care. They're just selling the bike. Yeah, they know the rules, they know they can't ride them, but they're not gonna ask, hey, where are you riding it? They just want to sell the bike, right? Yeah, so like a car. Yeah, great question. Yes.
So I live up near, Lakemont, North Glen.
Yes.
I'm right in that section there, and there are two young men there, boys really. And they ride these fat tire fast things through the neighborhood. very fast, up on one wheel. All through, and now that it's summer, I've even seen them all the way over to North Hills.
Oh, yeah.
But they've been all back in through here. So I don't know whether they're the kind that are not legal or not. I'll have to look at them closer next time they go spinning around.
Yeah.
But I've been terrified that somebody's gonna hit these kids
That's it.
because they're out there at night. They're out there all the time, you know, speeding through, doing these stunt moves and everything else. So you can tell them, come on up all through Lakemont area and North Glen and over as far as, like, I've seen them over at Midtown near the Harris Teeter now.
Like I said, we've been on it. And if you don't know if the bike is illegal, if they're doing a stunt, if they're lifting that front wheel up, that's already illegal. They cannot do that. You have to ride a bike according to the law. It doesn't matter what kind of bike it is. If they're doing a stunt on a regular bike on a city street, that is illegal. Bikes aren't meant to do that on a city street, right? So regardless of the type, the speed, what they're doing with, if they're doing a stunt, they're done. You can't do it. But again, we're looking for a needle in a haystack. We're looking for a bike at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment that they're doing it for us to enforce. We have to be realistic, right? We're using technology to be able to catch them. It's gonna be impossible to catch them in the act. We have to get really lucky to do that.
What number do they call when they say them? What number?
Oh, that's 911, because that'll get an immediate response. But again, is that a priority, depending on what's going on around the city? That's a whole other conversation, right? But yeah, I mean, we're using technology is our best tool to find these kids, because they are putting everything on social media. Yeah, yes.
Are such bikes legal on the bikeways, bike paths?
On the greenways?
Yeah, the greenway.
Greenways, not the e-motos, the regular e-bikes are, and I think it's like 10 miles per hour maximum, right? I ride my e-bike, I have an e-bike, not an e-moto. And yeah, it's 10 miles an hour. So as long as it's an e-bike, they cannot do the e-motos. And our greenway unit is, now they're involved because they are going into the greenways, and one group up in Bedford were riding and they rode past the jogger and smacked her in the head and kept on. You know, it's like they're doing those things. So it's grabbing the attention of a lot of people, and it's making a lot of people upset, if you can imagine. So yeah, we're trying to get up control of it, but it's extremely hard. So any other questions? All right, well, that concludes my last.
You're still doing the Millbrook Exchange Summer Series?
Summer Series, yes. The Summer Series are every Tuesday, sorry. Every Tuesday, different topics for summer safety. One is, I think, swimming, another one is cooking out. So they're different topics I can't read off the top of my head, but at Millbrook Exchange Park at 5 o'clock? 6 o'clock, sorry. Head over there, super informative. We need participation. We had one last week and a few people showed up, could have been better. So you're all, of course, open invite. Head over there and just hang out and get some good tips on summer safety stuff for you.
I think I sent the notice out right before the first.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's Tuesdays?
Tuesdays at 6, between 6 and 6:30. I get there by 6:15.
I think it's 6:30.
6:30, yeah.
And I think tomorrow's is on traffic safety.
There you go. Good topic about the emails. Bring that all up. Well, I should be there, but we have a lot going on tomorrow. Good. All right, so that's my last one. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your support. I'll make sure the chief comes and hangs out with you one day, one meeting for
Hey,
sure.
you're not staying, right? You're not staying with us tonight, right?
No.
But I would like to get you a piece of cake.
I'll get a cake though. I'll take it to go. I love sweets.
Whatever size you want.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Have a good night, thank you so much. I'll be around the city, so if you see me, say hello, and yeah, we'll go from there. So,
We won't forget you.
yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Have a good night.
All right, moving right along. We have Brodie, from the IT group to introduce us to iMaps.
Hello.
Hello.
Brodie Thiele, right?
Yes, Brodie Thiele. Okay, well, looks like I forgot to change the title. This is Midtown CAC, not South CAC. But hi, I'm Brodie. I'm from the GIS team within IT at the City of Raleigh. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about iMaps. How many people here have used iMaps before? Okay, quite a bit. Well, if you haven't, iMaps is one of our applications that has a lot of our property and community information in it. So it allows you to find a lot of data that we have, as well as create maps to print out or export addresses for like mailing lists and property information. So I'm going to show you guys kind of a demo on iMaps. Okay, so I have it pulled up here. These are some of the layers that you'll be able to find in iMaps. Right now, I have it open planning and development layer, specifically future and past development plans. So that's where you would be able to click on the different polygons and find information, as well as a link to the permit portal for those development plans. You can also find out property information, if it will load. Yeah, so general information like the PIN, owner, value of the land, etc. When I've asked people how they've used iMaps in the past, they say it's good for like buying a house, selling a house. I recently had someone tell me that they used it when they were requesting tree removal for their HOA, so they created a little map of the trees they wanted to take down in their yard to submit to their HOA. And the way they did that was there's a sketch feature on iMaps. So if I zoom into where we are here, you could do something like draw a circle around the couple trees you want to remove. And then that's something that with this button, you can choose to print out with all of the relevant information. Yeah, a ton of other layers here. There is the CAC. Yep, there's a CAC layer. So you can see which CAC you belong to. Sorry, my mouse is not working. Midtown, utilities, etc.
And then you can plug your address in, right?
Yes, you can, yeah. For the location search, you can plug any address in. Yeah, to find a property. Any questions?
I go to a Wake County real estate search. That's how I find the GIS. Is there does the city have a portal to the GIS somewhere, or how to get to where you're at?
Oh.
How do you probably would want to know, I think, how to get to this site.
Yeah, we have, we just call it iMaps. If you search iMaps, this will come up. But we have a portal called Open Data, which you can also find iMaps through there, as well as a bunch of our other data sets. So these are a bunch of the categories. There's, public safety data, like daily police incidents, transportation data, pretty much all of the data that we have publicly available will be found here. And then if you go over to applications, that's where iMaps is. Does that answer your question? Okay.
You can just Google iMaps Raleigh and it'll come up.
Yeah.
Is there a way to find HOAs?
HOAs? I don't think so.
Well, we're looking for a way to grow our organization and connect with the other HOAs and other small neighborhood groups that may exist that aren't CACs. So we're hoping to eventually get them on the map.
So there is through the Housing and Neighborhood Department, there's the Raleigh Neighborhood Registry, which is a way to collaborate with some of these community groups. And so they register with that organization, they'll start to show up on things like iMaps.
Right. But a lot of the HOAs like will sit around like Shelley Lake or whatever. We were looking for a way to connect with them. We were thinking we could do it through iMaps, but I don't think they're on iMaps.
So why don't you look and just quickly check.
The HOA, whoever's in charge of the HOA, it's just like,
Contact
just like a,
information.
contact information, just like a CAC.
Yeah.
Your Jim, I take it.
I am, yeah. So up at the top, Brodie, you can search.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Raleigh Neighborhood Registry.
Oh. I don't see any in that layer.
Okay.
Oh. This is for.
Okay, so, yeah, so we can kind of take that back.
Okay, I'll send you a note. Yeah, we're looking for any way to make our group, well, to communicate better, get more outreach.
Yeah, there's.
Using the CAC function was great for us, because that way at least, the one question I get all the time is, am I in your CAC? Here's where I live, am I in your CAC? So iMaps is terrific for that, where people can just check it on the layers, they just check CAC and they just plug in their address. Tell us by color what CAC you're in.
Any other questions about iMaps or GIS?
Well, I don't know what questions to ask. Can you give some examples of ways that can be used? I mean, because I haven't touched it in 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I think like you said, CACs is a good way to use it, finding your CAC. You can find, there's things here like the day your trash pickup is. You had mentioned going to the Wake property search, but there's a link right here to get to the deed.
Patrick, I can use it to like look at a property and see where the sewers are, where you can get the geographic, like the topography, you can find out where that kind of thing. It's just a lot of information about any property you look at.
Yeah.
You can locate parks through it.
I live in Ashley Park, it's off Six Forks Road. Is there, am I understanding there's a CAC for Ashley Park?
So why don't we do this as a kind of a cool little use case? Would you be willing to turn on the CACs? And then go through what Larry just described, which is if you wanted to share, if not. and basically share your address. And we could just put your address in, and we'll be able to see exactly what CAC district you're in.
5109 Sandalwood.
Okay.
Oh,
Spell that one.
Sandle Wood, one word. That's it.
okay. So it looks like that's in the Midtown
Right in the heart of Midtown.
CAC.
That'd be
So
amazing.
this, the fill, the purple fill, for instance, and my eyes are terrible, is in the North CAC.
Yes.
The blue is the Atlantic, green is Glenwood.
Okay, the brown where I'm in the middle of,
Yeah.
that's a CAC, what's that called?
Called-
Midtown.
This one,
That's where you are.
Where you are.
I'm in Midtown.
So if you click on it, will you get that as a pop in the pop-up?
Don't think those are on.
Okay.
Are there any HOAs in that Midtown?
So this is that Raleigh neighborhood registry
Right.
data that we were talking about that I don't know is currently in here. I will, we'll see if we can get into this.
Okay.
There's no HOA on that. It's on the north corner, which is just where
Is there anything else you want me to show them?
And there's no HOA?
If you go to where the CACs are,
Our area doesn't have HOAs.
there are also the things they might want to see is, where the parks are. Go down a little bit, I see parks and greenways down there,
Park locations.
right under planning and development.
Oh, under planning.
No, right, not under plan, right below it, right in the legend, right below it,
Yes.
where parks and greenways.
Yeah, they show up there. Internal greenway trails.
Homes that are in that neighborhood.
Yeah, this one, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, any other questions? All right, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving right along. Let's see, Christina is here and Mitchell is online. Which of you would like to go first? Since you're here, you might as well go first.
This is Mitch's district, so Mitch, would you like to go first, or does it doesn't matter to you? I don't know if you can hear me.
You can't.
You can go first. It's okay. I appreciate that.
We're in your district too, Christine. Fine.
You're right, it's a small piece. Good evening, everyone. How are you? If you don't know who I am, my name is Christina Jones. I am the current Raleigh City Councilor for District E. I do have a portion off Lassiter Mill in the Midtown CAC, but mainly you are represented by Mitch Silver, who is present but online. So I'm here to answer some questions that Larry had sent to me, but please feel free to raise your hand, ask anything that you'd like. I just want to make sure that I get them right, so I had them pulled up. The first thing that Larry asked me to cover is the fact that we have made a decision as a council to eliminate the balloting portion of traffic calming measures. The reason being, it had gone to Transportation and Transit Committee, is that we have a Vision Zero program. And that Vision Zero program says we want to make sure we bring any incidents, accidents, and deaths down to zero. Part of that is with your help. And when you guys tell us, hey, can you come check out my street? And then we do that and we put all of the work into doing it. And we say, yeah, you're right, that is dangerous. What was happening before is then we were having a public process to say, what kind of traffic calming measures do we like, do we want? And then it went to a ballot. So then after all of that work, the ballot of on-street neighbors could affect that. And we would get requests, or not requests, but they would get to the end of the process and we would have some things that we knew was a safety concern and the neighbors did not want that. And so they voted no. It wasn't a majority of the cases, mind you, but that did happen. And so what we decided was that with the evidence that there is a traffic concern on a given street, being that they are city streets, we want to make sure that something happens. Now, the community engagement portion, the back and forth does not stop. There will still be engagement. What we eliminated was the balloting, because if we're going to stop, if we're going to put all the effort into doing all that work and then stop it at the last minute, that didn't seem that it was effective and efficient for our staff. So we decided to put that into staff's hands. It is definitely changeable at any moment if we find that it is not working. We did have a short conversation. Some counselors had brought up that issues of neighborhoods not liking it. And right now, I think, and Counselor Silver, if you'll keep me honest, I forgot the, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
I forgot that, I'm sorry. My apologies, everyone on there, my apologies for all the was done. That there was a 2-year term, I think there was a 2-year, I don't know, do you remember, Mitch, if a neighborhood doesn't like it's 33. Okay, so there is a 3-year wait. We want to make sure to see if it works. We want to put the data in to make sure we can see, is it really bad? Is it making things worse, or is it making things better? We just don't like it. So after 3 years, if it's not working, staff will come back in and eliminate it. But that was the work behind why we made that decision. So if you have any thoughts or questions, I'm happy to answer those. Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 questions. So the first question is, where does the money come from to do these fixes? Number 1, and number 2, if you actually go back in 3 years, have you gone back in 3 years and actually ripped out something?
I don't know the answer.
We're about to do it with Margo.
I don't know the answer to that fully. I'm not that I know of, but it's not a question I've asked, so I can definitely write that down, take note, and see if I can get that answer to you. Where does the money come from? That is in our general fund. So our general fund budget, we allocate money in our transportation portion to our neighborhood traffic management program. And we are trying to make sure that we're allocating the right amount. I know that this budget cycle, we added more money for our pavement markings, because as we've noticed, especially with our disabled community, they're not able to see the crosswalks. And so we put a lot more money into that this year. And then I don't know what the dollar amount is for the neighborhood traffic program, but it is allocated yearly in the budget.
Tax dollars.
I'm sorry?
Tax dollars then.
Yeah. Yep, city streets, definitely tax dollars. Everything we do is tax dollars. We don't have money if no tax dollars. Yes.
Where are most of the traffic pedestrian accidents occurring, in deaths? What injuries and deaths? I mean, is it out there at Capitol, or where would you say that most of the lion's share of them are happening?
Well, we do have a high impact, we have a whole map that tells us this, so I have not memorized it, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I will say a larger corridor.
Capitol and New Bern, I think, are the ones with a significant number. But Councilmember Jones is correct. There is a map that shows all the pedestrian vehicular conflicts and accidents throughout the city. But if I recall, it's New Bern and Capitol Boulevard are probably the 2 worst in the city.
Thank you.
So the Raleigh magazine, the most recent one, current one, has the top 10 sites that are the most dangerous for pedestrians and bicycles.
Thank you so much.
And Millbrook and Six Forks is like 3.
I'm gonna have to go read that and read that report. Yes, ma'am.
Could we get data on the difference between NCDOT maintained accidents and city street accidents? Like the difference between
the streets being fixed?
not being fixed, but like accidents that actually happen on streets that are maintained by NCDOT versus the city streets?
I'm pretty sure those are the same. I don't know, but that's a question we can definitely ask and forward on to our staff to get that data for you. So don't worry, email your representative, email me, that's totally fine. I'll help get that data. It's nothing that I have off the top of my head, but I think in terms of crash data, our Vision Zero does both. They don't just do city streets. I'm pretty sure they're capturing both city and state maintained streets, but I can clarify that.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Yes.
Six Forks Road, north of Lynn Road, was repaved. Was that paid for by the city or was that paid for by the county?
By the state.
State, because it's a state road. Yeah. Glenwood Avenue is just about to go through their resurfacing, and that is also a state maintained, so the state paid for resurfacing.
When they paved, Councilman Silver, I think we talked about this earlier this week, when they paved down toward, Lassiter Mill, will that also be paid for by the state?
Yes, they split it in 2 phases for whatever reason, I don't know. They did the Strickland to Lynn Road about 2 months ago, and they will next in 2027 go from Lynn Road all the way down to 440.
Okay, and again, that will be a state budget?
Yes.
Is the city paying anything on that?
No, but there will be coordination, was part of my update. But as part of the funds that were reallocated from the Six Forks widening project, North Glen near Capitol Towers and Millbrook, there will be some intersection improvements. And so the city wants to make sure they coordinate with the state. So the state doesn't do repaving, the city comes in and digs up or changes what they both did. So they'll be coordinating that together, and that'll be 2027. That'll be the only city dollars in that project are for the North Glen, Capitol Towers, new intersect or pedestrian improvement, and Millbrook, Six Forks.
Is that three Millbrook and Six Forks and Capitol and North Glen? Are those,
Projects, yes.
Those are 3 separate projects?
There's 3 separate locations, but it's part of the entire package of improvements along Six Forks.
Right, okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Any other questions on that?
Yeah, do we have the details on those improvements yet? Anywhere we can see?
I don't.
No, we do not. We just had an update last week from staff. This was at a Midtown Transportation Summit. And so I don't have the details, but they should be happening within the year.
All right, anything else? I'm gonna move on to the next point. The next point that Larry asked me to cover was the CAC budget that was just approved. So we did just pass our 2027 budget, of which $150,000 was allocated to our community engagement network, mainly being of the programs we started with CACs. They'll need an additional staff member there, so that's a big portion of that 150,000. But we have allocated money to CACs, I think $300, keep me honest, Larry. Per CAC, we have our Zoom license, which we're paying for through these fundings. And then what I'm really excited about is our partnership with Wake Tech, in which if you become a CAC leader, we would love to pay for you to take a class on leadership with Wake Tech, and that is covered by the city. Our goal is to make sure that you are educated on not only the specific issues, but how to help us lead in moments like this. So all of those wrapped together, all of the benefits that we discussed that Larry, me, Robert, Michael, Lindsay, and others have been a part of, resulted in a $150,000 line item that was covered this year. So I really wanted to take a moment to be really happy about that, because we are reinstated and we have actual funding behind it. So I know that we've spent years in fight or flight mode. I've been there with you the whole time. And it feels good to be able to breathe for a moment and say, wow, that took a while, but we're here and we can start building the foundation that's going to be the next 40 years of CACs. So thank you for that work.
So my question with that is that, and I'm not sure what Larry would say, but running the Raleigh North CAC, our biggest challenge is getting people into the meeting. And I don't think that used to be pre, bust up and coming back in, a challenge.
Oh, no, it was. Oh, no, it very much was a problem.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
well. Okay.
Having been there, I'm gonna let you
Yeah,
know,
okay.
so I've been here
I'm gonna
since
go with what you
2016
said. I'm gonna
and
go with what you said.
I was the chair for the Northwest CAC and we represented 90,000 people and I had 10 people in my meetings. Unless it was a really busy rezoning that I had rent out a middle school to be at. So we have always had the challenge of keeping and getting people in, and that's always going to be a challenge. I don't want us to ever pretend that there's gonna be a consistent month to month where you have 50 people, but whether you have 2 people or you have 30, you're giving information to somebody who's there to hear it. And so I don't want you to judge the quantity of people that are at those CAC meetings. Each one of them deserve our utmost respect and attention.
Well, so, I'm not saying, if 2 people show up, we're having a meeting, but, my question is this, it sounds like there's funding, a good deal of funding that is allocated in these, and we don't need that much to run our meeting. I mean, we could do that, but the promotion is right now where I think we probably need the most help.
So what I will say is these conversations and what we work so hard on is that I am the liaison for council and I meet with Larry, with the leadership team. Those concerns, you should funnel those to your leadership team so that as an organization, you guys can figure out how to best support. If that goes above and beyond what is offered, now that's when they come to me. And we say, all right, let's have a conversation about how if we can, we'll do more.
Okay.
But right now, with the 150.
So the RAC is.
I'm just gonna finish my thought. Right now, what we're going to do is measure what we've just done and see how that works in the next year. And so I'll be looking to my leadership here to help me understand, was that enough? Were we able to bring more CACs on? Because those are the metrics that I'll be looking for. How many are we able to bring on? How many people? So that we can now get council to be excited about doing more because we're in partnership. I do think the city, as a city, we owed it to CACs to make the first step and say, here's the olive branch, and that's what we've done in this budget. And so now I look forward to this next year of us really partnering and seeing what are we going to receive from CACs this year.
So who is it? You talking about our CAC or?
I am, our CAC.
Oh, okay. So I don't think I'm chairing the Raleigh North one. Okay,
I've been to your meetings.
Oh, yes.
I've spoken at your meetings.
Okay. Well, you mentioned Larry, you didn't mention me, so
I've been to all of them.
I didn't know whether I was part of that decision group or not. Okay. No,
Let me just say that, now that we have money from the city and an offer from the city to help us with mailings, my number one goal, every New Year's resolution that I make is to increase the circulation and try to draw more members. So now with some of the assistance from the city, we just need to find a better way to do it. And that's why I was asking, like with iMaps, to get some better contacts through iMaps. And I think we can work that out.
And this is where we get to shine as a community because this is a community organization. We saw how much we struggled without it. And so now that it's back, I need your participation. Larry needs your participation. We need your help to do these things because it can't be the city going door to door, every issue. I don't have the manpower, I don't have the people.
Yeah.
So this is really a moment where we have to start inspiring everybody else to come on board and help us with this work because it is a joint, it's twofold.
Well said.
Okay, so I'm gonna move, unless you have other questions about CACs, I wanna make sure I'm getting to all the points that Larry wanted me to cover. Okay, the next one is our transportation bond. We have a bond, if you haven't heard, coming up, and there's some important things that I want you to know. As opposed to other bonds that we've done or other bonds you may see, this will not cost you a dime. This is being funded on our debt capacity. The way Councilor Patton, and I love her examples, says is that if I have purchased and financed a car and I was paying $500 a month on that, and at the end of that $500 is not new money. It's not brand new. It's something that I'm able to reallocate because something's been paid off. That's what's happening, is we have projects in our capital improvement plan that we've had for many years. They're rolling off and we have piled all that money together to equate about $203 million. That means you're already paying that in taxes. You've already done it. And so the only thing that you're gonna see on your ballot is us asking the permission to earmark it for 101.5 million for housing and 101.5 million for transportation. On that transportation bond, there are 3 projects. One of them is in my district, and it's the Ebenezer Church. One of them is Marsh Creek. Both of those were from a bond well before. We had the 2017, which the Six Forks bond was on, or Six Forks Road was on, but Ebenezer Church had been looked over from 2011, and I'm pretty sure Marsh Creek was similar. I think it's 2011 or if not earlier, that those projects have been waiting and we had shelved them for a long time. This is our transportation department's work of trying to fix things from well long before, and that is why those are being prioritized in this bond, not what we were not able to do with Six Forks. And I understand, I know how painful that was for this area, but I want you to understand there were other projects even before that that never even got off the ground either, that this is what our transportation department felt was needed. So that's about, I think, 60 million of the transportation bond. The other 40 million are our efforts to help fix our sidewalks, to extend those and maintenance infrastructure, things that we can get done, neighborhood traffic management, you know, things like that, that we can get done sooner. So that accounts for the 101.5 million for transportation. And the other project, the third one, is our design work onto the Western BRT, because we've got our first Newbern BRT, and that's finally gonna get started. We have people contracted to do it, and now we're looking to the next one, and that's Western. So that's what this bond money is gonna help us design. Any thoughts or questions on the transportation bond? Did I miss anything, Councilor Silver? No, okay.
I'm sorry, Christine, what's
Got it.
the affordable housing?
Oh,
money?
I'm sorry,
What's
yeah.
that going for?
Yes,
Well, yeah, please.
I definitely. So our affordable housing fund is the other $101.5 million. And we're super excited about that. There are 5 buckets. I get a little bit lost and Councilor Silver helped me. I know we have 12 million in homelessness prevention. We're trying to increase our homelessness outreach as we see that increasing across the city. We've got a little over 20 million for big mixed-use projects so that we can earmark those. And then there are 3 other buckets, and I'm not sure that I remember all of them off the top of my head, so I'll give Councilor Silver any.
I don't remember off the top of my head. Hold on, let me see if I can keep talking.
Okay,
I'll
no
see if
problem.
I have it here.
So we have those 5 buckets, and there are 4 different partnerships and projects to help with. Oh, there's one for repair and maintenance, because that has always been part. It's what we did with our $80 million bond as well. We put some money towards making sure people can stay in their homes by having a repair fund, and part of that, I don't remember the allotment, but that is one of the buckets for this as well.
It's another part for assistance to keep people in their homes.
Keep people in their homes, yes. So affordable housing isn't just building new ones, it's maintaining and helping keep as much NOAA or naturally occurring affordable housing as we possibly can. And so that is part of our bond package in the $101.5 million for housing.
What if it fails?
Well, I guess everything it's always possible that something fails. What I will say is our 80 million that we just did, the same pilot, or not pilot, but the same structure was very successful.
The election.
I'm so sorry. You're right. Yes, that is the fear. That is my biggest fear, because I think it's confusing when you have multiple bonds. People automatically are gonna think that it's gonna cost them more money.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm here now, trying to help.
Why do we have to have a bond on the election if the money's already out?
You know, that's a really great question, but because what they explained to us is that this is by statute, it has to be requested. In our debt capacity, we don't have the authority to just make that decision. We have to turn it back over to you. And I think, and I don't know, Mitch, if you heard that, but she was saying, can you repeat your question before?
If the money's already allocated, then why is it called a bond? Maybe you would call it a bond. Mm-hmm. Because then, like you said, the implication is it's a new money that the voters have to approve, that they may say no.
Yeah, and I'm not I'm not sure that I can explain it any better than this is the way that the statute says that we have to get permission from voters.
Correct. We're asking for authorization to be very clear about how we're going to spend that money. And we are required to get public approval. We had to have a public hearing to express the desire about how this money is going to be spent. And so therefore, we need the public's approval. This is based on a state statute. Our attorney and our staff. And so we're just following the proper channels to put this forward. I heard a question, suppose it fails. That's always a possibility. There are implications for saying no. And so if it does fail, there's going to be a lot of pain for the next few years until we figure out what to do. My hope is that with a zero property tax increase, we will be pushing very hard with our partners as to why the public should support this. We hear affordable housing all over, all the time, not just us around the country. And we are working with the citizens to do our part to make sure people can afford to live and stay in this community. If people say no, I'd be surprised, but we'll have to deal with those implications. I hope that does not come to pass.
Yes, and just statistically speaking, most of our bonds do pass. And our last Parks bond passed by 72%. So we're hopeful that our partnership with the Raleigh Chamber, who helps us make sure everybody knows about it, we hope that it warrants the same results. But it's really what the efforts of coming here and having this conversation as many times as I need to help you understand what's coming will hopefully help you tell your neighbors who aren't here so that the word can get out a little bit faster. But thank you for the question. Yes, Whitney.
So is there any provision in this, the housing program that's going to result from this for the private individual to own their home? Or is this just all going to be, housing project type stuff where they're renting? I'm talking about the housing that's going to be built with the bond.
Well, what do you mean by housing project?
Well, what I mean is there any provisions in there for home ownership of the individuals that are in there?
Through the partnerships that we work with, we have partners who do home ownership like Habitat for Humanity, and we fund them, and those are always a big portion of that if they fill out the RFP. So this isn't a guarantee. There is no money that's allocated to any program at this moment. We're saying we're going to open up for RFP. A lot of people will apply, and then we'll get to choose our partner. So
there could be.
Yes, as there have been in the past. Old Pool Place is a home ownership project that we've done. We would love to partner with home ownership as well.
Yeah, just so you know, there's a couple of buckets. There's one that's gap financing. There's one for acquisition. There's one for homeless assistance. There's a bucket for homeless services. So the 101 million has a variety of different programs, but it includes all of that. And to assist a homeowner, that's a private property. And so that's part of the program as well. A smaller portion, but the goal is to find a number of different tools and avenues to help provide affordable housing to our citizens.
Yes. Any other questions on the bond, the full package of that housing and transportation that we've covered, and no tax increase?
When's that bond going to be voted on?
On November 3rd. November 3rd of this year, along with all of your other big elections from the federal government all the way down to council. It'll all be on one big ballot. But you'll be hearing a lot more about it as we walk into the election season. All right, I have one other thing, and then if there's any other questions, and it's to talk about police staffing. In this budget, we did do a 1.7 cent increase. 1.1 cents of that 1.7 goes directly to our public safety, and that includes adding 23 policemen, 12 firefighters, and 6 emergency call takers. This was in direct response to what we've heard over the last few years. We have not added a police officer since 2017, and we have not added a firefighter since 2015. Wow. So as you have noticed, all of our population has increased, the demand, the need has increased, and our staffing has not. And so there is no amount of money that I can just go and put everybody needed. We have a fire master plan that we're following. We're following the lead of our police chief, and they don't have the capacity to just go, oh, I'm gonna hire 300 people to cover that. They can't. They don't have the place, they don't have the equipment, they don't have anything prepared. So what we're doing is adding it slowly back. And so this 23 by any means is not to say that we are going to be fully staffed with police officers once that's full. That's not true at all. But we are trying to get more academies. But in order to get more academies, I need more trainers. And so it's this crazy cycle that we can't just jump into. And so this is why the numbers are lower than anticipated. But it still adds a meaningful amount in what we could do in a year where we were so strapped for cash. And so that is why we had to add that 1.7 cents. And so your partnership in this is very appreciated. And we just want you to know that we're spending it exactly where you asked us to over the last few years to make sure that public safety is prioritized.
Christina, you put it exactly right. I think what you did with the budget this year is a good first step. But like the police, we're like 400 people short. Try to do it incrementally. I kind of wish there would have been more emphasis on that long-term phase to make sure that we are building up our force, both fire, police, emergency, not just be satisfied with this 1 year allotment that we made within the budget. I think you're right, it takes continual growth to get where we need to be.
And I hope it helps us as a community see that, so that when we're tuned into the budget, this is 10 and 12 years of not funding and adding anything at all. And so what I hope that this shows us is that these are the things we have to be demanding every year. We have to be asking for these things, because for a big chunk of time, you had leadership that didn't. And I wish that we could put them up here and ask why, because that's stuff that we have to stand for, and I will stand in the uncomfortable conversations, because that's what I'm good at. But let's not forget that we can't, as a community, allow us to get back in that rut again. Yes, Randy.
So what I want to make sure I understand, is this about actually increasing the head count? This isn't about X amount of people go out the back door and we're just bringing enough in?
Oh, that could definitely still happen. I cannot guarantee.
Well, there's always going to be people, I mean, we've got a large enough force. There's always going to be people who are retiring and going to work in other forces, other places.
It's a really great question, and I want to be completely honest, because we are not fully staffed. So even though these 23 officers that we're saying we're adding, which is great, and I am appreciative of it, at one point recently, we got an update, we were 155 officers down because of those. So I understand the concern from some that are like, why would we add positions when we can't even staff what we have? And if I don't begin to set the groundwork so that when we get to that point, we're ready for it, then I'm not doing you a service at all. So I understand that concern from the community, but I believe that we are on a track. We have an amazing police chief. And as you saw, we've got really great programs starting. And so I hope the momentum kicks up and we are able to, and I want to give our staff the relief of having more than they had, before. Yes,
Did the budget address salaries and all? I just know that part of the problem is we train Raleigh police officers and they can make more money going to CARE or Wake Forest or anywhere. So, we're not paying them enough.
No, you're great. You're right. Last year we did 11% raises for our police, fire, public safety, and 9% out through everywhere else in the city. We were not able to keep that same 9% this year, so it was 2%, which doesn't really even cover the cost of inflation. So
the state is kicking in though, isn't the state kicking into both police and fire?
Oh, if you let me know. I did not know that. Ooh, well, send me that article because I would love that.
I thought that was part of the budget.
Well, their budget hasn't even passed yet.
No.
So I'll wait. We can have that conversation when they pass the budget. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, I think that was actually, what are we doing for retention as a state employee? And maybe I'll get 3% after, I don't know how many years I've nothing retroactive. I just want to make sure that, yes, we gave them something really good. So at least we're giving them something to stay.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of benefits. Our healthcare plan is really, really phenomenal, and we're finding that some of those that have left have actually come back, really want to come back because of the benefits that we offer. We do separation allowance for police only because that is a state mandated requirement, and that just means after they retire, they get a portion of their salary. They get great benefits. They don't get our take-home cars, and that is something that we've heard multiple times as to why. We did do the pay adjustment salary across the board last year, which was all, and that wasn't a tax, guys, we didn't do a tax increase at all last year. And we gave our entire staff and brought them up wages wise, because we know that the people who work for the city are the ones that really serve you. And so we need to make sure that they're taken care of. So they have great benefits, but I'm sure we can always do better. And so that's what we're always going to be working towards getting better. Yes.
I just want to make one statement about that pay increase only got them up to par. And as long as competitively in Wake County, we're at the bottom, you know, and I don't think we're at the entire bottom now, but we're probably about a third up. As long as we're down there, they got the toughest job in the county. We're gonna lose, bleed off officers to other places. I don't have a problem with that, other than, if we do that and we can't get the folks in on the other end as fast, we're gonna continue what we've been doing and treading water as far as the number of overall police
You know,
officers.
what I would say is that, I mean, any ideas you have, this has been a years and years problem for us, so we haven't solved it yet. And that part of getting more people in is where we've struggled, and keeping them and maintaining them after the 10-year mark is where we have struggled. And we're gonna be watching a lot of retirements coming up in the police force and staff in general. And from decisions that were made years and years and years ago that resulted in people not staying. Yeah, I don't have the perfect solution for you as to what we're doing, but we are keeping track and trying to do better. But if you have any suggestions of what else we can do, I'd love it.
I'm glad to.
I love it.
This might not be the time and place, but.
No, shoot me an email. The last thing that I used to mention, because I did mention separation allowance, I do want to say that for our fire, they do not get the same benefit. So state law mandates that police get separation allowance, but they do not mandate for fire. We did go through a long 2-year try to get some separation allowance. It is a very expensive benefit, and we have to have the conversation with the community and say, is this what you find worth it? And so we can continue that discussion, but as of last year, that wasn't voted on at all. It wasn't taken up for fire because of the expense, because of what I think our AAA bond rating, things like that, they would have been affected. And so the majority of council decided that that wasn't a step that we were willing to take at that time. But I've gotten through my list. So if there are any other questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Hi. So going back to topic number 2 on the CACs.
Yeah.
One of the things that CACs did almost exclusively for the public was nibbled away at by, stopping supporting the CACs. And then the city council had decided that the neighborhood meetings, which invites people, 500 to 1,000 feet away from a project, are the only things that they're going to demand that developers do. It used to be the practice, and it wasn't a law, but it was a practice, that developers took their plans to the CACs, which provided a big public forum broader than 1,000 feet outside of the project, and presented their plans to the public that way. And that was one of the things that got attendance. There was great attendance in the north when there was all that development going on up Falls of the Noose Road. And I think that one of the things that needs to happen with the city reinvesting in CACs is to reinstate that practice that before you can go to the planning commission, you need to go to the general public via the CACs. That's a big forum. It's not just the 500 to 1,000 feet around the project.
Sure. So I have 2 things for that. Number one, as a CAC right now, we are not prevented from having those relationships with developers to do those same things. So that can still exist.
And we did.
Right, but we're not prevented, but it doesn't happen.
I'm aware.
Well, we had North Hills here. We're gonna have the exchange people here in August.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need to build with the CAC. CACs need to know what you want to talk about. They need to know who they need to reach out to so that they can help partner with us. And I can say, oh, do we need John Kane here? Cool, let me do my part and help encourage them to come talk. That's the partnership that we're building right now. I understand what you're saying, because I remember it in CACs when it wasn't required, but that is what happened. part of that, in bringing it back with that same council that disbanded us, that was one of the things that we had to compromise on and say, I can't get full unanimous support to bring CACs back. And that was one of the leverages that they didn't want back at the moment. So that doesn't mean forever. That doesn't mean that we never will get it back. And I think in building what we're trying to do this year and trying to show how many people we can bring out, how strong an asset the CACs are, that could be something we can ask for in the future. I mean, this is not a one size fits all. This is a growth model that we can see over time, and it doesn't negate or make anything small what we're doing right now, just because we haven't gotten to that point yet. That is something that we will continue to build, but I think the city needs to see that we can bring all of our CACs back. It can't just be that we give that back to some, because we have about half of our CACs right now that are active. And so the pull from us and the push from council to say, get me back to the 18 CACs, let's cover the city, and then let's see what else we can do. Because I need to know that the entire city is covered before we do more. I mean, we just committed $150,000 and some really great initial stepping stones. And now, in order for us to get more, we need to see the partnership this year.
Okay, a couple of things in response to that. I don't think we should wait until every square inch of the city has another CAC springing up, because that is going to take a while. But the areas that are getting the brunt of development, like North Hills and like 5 Points and North, if there is going to be more development up there, we exist, and we need to have these things presented. And because there hasn't been that practice put back in place, there was a major rezoning request at the intersection of Six Forks and Millbrook, the three old boxy office buildings that are on the northwest corner of that intersection, which everybody's talked about. That's like the greatest number of pedestrian and car accidents. That never came forward to the general public, just the people within 1,000 feet of the border of that redevelopment. And those buildings are going down and something else is coming up.
And what we're building right now is to
Patrick,
make sure
that's not a done deal, okay? Even though they approved it, the transportation impact of that development is yet to be worked on. For example, there's supposed to be a traffic light out there to facilitate that traffic. That's gonna come up, and it's gonna come up within the next, whenever that project hits the ground. I don't know when that'll be.
But it wasn't brought here.
No, it was not. It was not.
And I think that the general public in all of the North Hills area would like to have heard
revisit that one, I feel like.
Right, and I think that's the important thing. What we're trying to build here is how do we, as the group, say what's important to each CAC, because the city needs to see that relationship budding, and I think by funneling those questions, when you have about what you'd like to see in CACs, you funnel them to your chair funnels it to leadership, and then we work on it, is the only way we're gonna be able to do this in an organized and strategic manner.
Yeah, and we'll revisit that.
But you need the participation of the people coming up.
Yeah, I need you guys to say to Larry, hey, I'd like to learn about this, and then Larry's amazing at making sure to teach everything, and bring people to the table. Believe me, he goes after us to make sure we are there. So you have an amazing chair who will do that for you. So please utilize, and then he does a great job helping me understand the concerns of the area.
Well, I can't take all these compliments tonight.
Anything else?
Thanks,
Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
We have concerns about our basic facility thinking ahead, because they're eventually going to take away our parking on the street. And there's no parking here with tennis and the playground being improved. So we were kicking around the idea, I guess I want to understand the rules of where we could meet instead, because we are so big, and if we start we're getting new signs and we're going to get more people coming to meetings, there's no parking here. And most of us park on the street because there's kids coming around anyway. So could you give us a list of other potential places where we could hold our CAC, or what are the type rules?
Well, Larry has that. So I think that
we had a list of a couple, none of them were, really great choices, but I mean, are there some rules about that?
Right now, we are following the lead of our Parks Department, so our Parks Department who looks at all of the stuff that is a option for classes and all of that. They let us know which ones are the most suitable, which is why we got that list. If there is something, after looking at that you have a specific request for, we can always talk about it and ask the Parks Department. The list they gave Larry is what they could do right now. And so if something needs to change on there, I think you guys can spend some time picking the place where you'd like to meet and then seeing how we can.
But it has to be a city facility, it can't like be at a church or a library.
It does not have, it can be wherever you guys want it. But if it's a city facility and it's not on our list and it's a different one, then we would have to have a conversation, but you are not tethered to city infrastructure. If you guys would like to meet anywhere else, that would be a discussion you'll have with your chair, and that we have no say in that.
I will tell you that as far as the cycle track project that's gonna occur on Belleville Drive, it's not like we haven't talked to anybody about it, but it's supposed to be gather the data and maybe fix it later on, which with the city never really happens. But one of the things that maybe we can get them to do, instead of running the cycle track all the way down Valhalla Drive, is to take the area in front of Eastgate Park and not designate it as part of the cycle track, as I've seen many places in the city where unfortunately you ended before the park and then you pick it back up after the park to reserve that extra parking that this facility is gonna need. You're absolutely right. Come election time, they'll be out the gazoo trying to find places to park. So, yes.
So come back, well, maybe next month.
Can't get a no out of us, they would get a compromise.
All right, any other questions? Mitch, I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to say. I'll turn it over to you. Sorry for taking your spotlight.
No, and I have a call with my Australian colleagues in about 7 minutes. So unless it's a quick question, I have to start prepping in about 2 minutes for that call. It's Tuesday morning in Australia. We pick evening times for our meetings.
All right, any other questions? All right.
Well, thank you to both you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget now, we're gonna have cake shortly. I don't want you to run down the door. The last item of business that we have is our elections. We have not had an election for 3 years by my estimation. I think 2023 was the last election. So we are overdue for election, supposed to be every 2 years. We have a slate. Let me share a screen. Share. Hope you can all see that. Get this thing out of the way. If you'll notice, the first chair, which is a big responsibility only because the first chair typically would take my place in the event that I'm not here or something, there's cross of responsibilities, whatever. But that first chair typically will step into the responsibility that the chair would have. And I understand the reluctance, but it's something on my part, I've got to make sure I train somebody to fill that role over the next 2 years. But we do have a slate. Those of you that are here tonight, Adam is here. Adam, you want to stand up? Adam is going to take over responsibilities, even though we hate to lose it, for Kathleen, for Facebook, as well as be our secretary.
And Instagram.
Adam, you want to just tell a little bit about yourself real quick?
Sure. I went
Simon
to
Patrick.
Sanderson High School, graduated in '97, went off and joined the Army and had a pretty good time doing that. I retired last year and moved back here to Raleigh to start my family.
Go back to school, see the school and everything.
Oh, I did go to the planning academy that the city runs, which was a fantastic event. I recommended it to anyone that would listen to me.
Which is a big accomplishment, because I applied, they didn't take me.
They didn't take me either.
There you go. And Jane Huban is gonna be our second vice chair. She is not here tonight. She is unfortunately ill tonight. She traveled and visited her grandkids, and grandkids do what grandkids did and passed it on to the rest of the family. So she'll be with us next meeting. Let's see. June's gonna be our treasurer. June, you wanna stand up?
Hi.
And her husband, Chuck, who is adamant about the pluses and minuses of the cycle track, is gonna help us with transportation as the liaison. Oh, I'm sorry, planning, I got that backwards. And Roberta, I thought I saw her, there you go. Roberta's gonna help out with transportation, it's her pet project, so. So any questions for the candidates, anything that you'd like to know before we actually take a vote?
Hey, Larry,
Open nominations to.
That's what I was about to do, yeah.
does the second vice chair, if there's no first vice chair, does the second vice chair do with the?
It
first
will
vice
happen,
chair do?
it will happen over time. Guaranteed, for those of you coming in, it will happen over time.
Who is?
I'm not gonna be here forever, so maybe we'll bring Patrick back and say.
Larry, who is qualified to vote, you might want to.
What's that?
Who is qualified to vote, you might want to tell us that.
To
vote on the
Qualified.
election.
What are the qualifications to vote? Who's allowed to vote?
I'm sorry, yes, you do have to be a Midtown resident to vote. And we have a couple people online who you are Midtown residents, you can vote, they're just raising your hand. But I was gonna ask for a motion to open up the slate of nominations for election. Can I get a motion to open up?
I move to open up.
There you go.
Second.
Okay. Anybody, even though we're holding elections tonight, we don't have to. If there's somebody in the audience that actually does want to run, someone who does want to fill in that first chair, I'd be glad to accommodate you. Seeing none, looks like we're gonna go with the slate that we have. So, since we've now opened up for nominations, I'd like to get a motion to accept all of the nominees for election for the upcoming year.
I so move.
Okay. Again, any discussion, any comments?
I have a question.
Sure.
So you've got, I understand, the law to hit that second chair. However, you've got several other positions open. If you could.
As far as a liaison, if somebody wants to help, that could be an appointment. You don't have to be elected tonight for that,
Okay, that was my question.
if that's what you had in mind. The only other one I think it's open is the first chair. And I think with a little bit of extra training and convincing, we'll get first chair. So, as we shoot for more volunteers coming into the organization, we'll fill that within. I'm not gonna go away without filling that first chair. So let's see, was there a motion on the floor to accept all of the nominees for election?
Yep.
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Hearing, seeing none? Congratulations. Thank you for volunteering. Whitney, as you mentioned about volunteering, just so you know, and everybody here knows, I must have sent out at least 3 requests for volunteers. And thankfully, I got some volunteers.
Noted.
So your email, your list of emails that you send, where does that come from?
Where does that come from? The Midtown list that we're using has come from over time. There is a larger list out there from the city that we have to address and go back out to those people that are on that list and see if we can get some of them activated, make sure they know we exist. So that's one of the things we will address with the upcoming board.
So that list from the city includes the property.
Way back when, just like you signed in tonight, the sign-up sheet used to go back to the city, and the city accumulated all those signatures and all that data for addresses, names, and so on. We finally got it back from the city. For a long time, we weren't supposed to receive it legally, but there must have been a loophole or something. We finally got acquisition to the list, so we have that list. Yes, Whitney.
So What is overtime? You said you've got names from overtime or? Oh, okay.
Over time, over period.
Over the past.
Overtime. Not
I
pay
thought there
over.
was another list out there.
I would love to pay my volunteers, it's like that, they can get the same pay that I get. So I think that pretty much covers everything tonight. We're not gonna meet in July. August, we're gonna start right off in August with one thing I know is on the agenda. We talked about rezoning, the exchange property that sits behind the Hilton. It sits right next to Kane's property. Actually, it's bounded on two sides by Kane's property. They're gonna be going through rezoning. They're gonna be here, one, to make sure everybody knows about the exchange. They have so far it's been really well done. They have a park there, there's a dog park, there's a people park. They have some great restaurants, there's a great Mexican restaurant in there. The city just recently held a transportation forum within that same exchange project. And they're gonna be here in August to talk about their rezoning. They're also gonna talk about their project as a whole, just to have people familiar with it. Everybody knows Kane's properties. I don't think they get enough publicity to what they've already established. And they've been one of the friendlier developers with the community. They've accommodated us in the past. So hopefully we'll convince them not to go 30 stories like they want to do either.
What's the date of the August meeting?
Oh, good question.
It's on Facebook.
Who's the first one with a calendar?
24 August.
Yeah, 24th of August. Our secretary knows. Okay, so that's it. Let's cut some cake and celebrate Leuven finally giving up his office, and Kathleen, it's her last meeting with us. She will not be gone, believe me. She may think she's gone. So thank you all for coming, and have a great summer. I'll see you in August. Oh.